Yo, what's going on, my people? This is Winning Wednesdays with MyRon. Yeah, Winning Wednesdays is back. I got hurt, man. I had a back injury. Some of y'all gonna laugh at me, man. I was trying to do deadlifts. My wife complimented me about my form, and it went to my head. And I guess my form wasn't so good, man, because I threw my back out and I was down for 3 weeks anyway. I'm on the mend. I'm on the mend now. I'm on the mend, and I wanted to come on here and go live. I know I normally go live at 7 a.m., but I wanted to go live now anyway to share some of the things that I have learned after 24 years of marriage. Yesterday, my wife and I celebrated 24 years of marriage. We got married on July the 22nd, 2001. And you know what we did yesterday? Celebrate our anniversary. We went to the movies with our kids. Don't worry. Stay tuned. We got something coming up. I would not advise that. It's funny. After we went to the movies, me and my wife was like, "Yo, why did we bring these Negroes with us? Why did we bring them? We should have been. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it is what it is. You live and you learn. But 24 years of marriage, 24 years of marriage, man. And I want to talk about the 7 things that 24 years of marriage has taught me. But before I do, I want to encourage every single brother on here to join me August 11th through 13th for 3 days to fix what's failing in your life. Some of y'all are winning publicly, failing privately. The Men's Breakthrough Challenge is back. 3 days, lock in, get the breakthrough you need. Some of y'all got success, but you don't got breakthrough. And I want to help you to get your shift together. So the link is right there on the screen, www.mensbreakthroughchallenge.com. We have limited spots, and we already have at least 200 guys that are registered. If you want to be a part of this, I'm going to encourage you to register right now. All right, so let's talk about this. Man, marriage has taught me a lot. And I'll be honest, the things I want to share with you today, I had no idea about before marriage. And marriage taught me this. Being married to a strong woman taught me these things. Basically, marriage schooled your boy for the past 24 years. And I said, man, let me come on here and share with the folks, man, what your boy has learned. And maybe it might help somebody, man. Maybe it might help some of y'all who think about marriage. Maybe it might help some of y'all who in the thick of it right now and you're going through. Either way, man, let's talk about it. Seven things 24 years of marriage taught me. Let's get to it. 7 things 24 years of marriage taught me. Some of y'all scared of marriage because you've seen so many bad ones. I want you to know, man, I have a great marriage, man. Seriously. And I don't have no advantage that nobody else has. I come from my parents are divorced. My wife's parents were divorced. You know what I'm saying? We had no advantage per se, but there are some things that I think we were committed to, and we were friends. That helped a lot. Our relationship was not the foundation of our relationship was not romance. These are not my 7, by the way. I'm just talking. The foundation of our marriage was not romance. I think some folks out here, I mean, if I could just, some of y'all, man, y'all get romantic too soon, and that thing kind of, you know what I'm saying, messes the joint up because it beclouds your judgment. You know, I liken it unto this. I'm just using this as an illustration. When you get romantic too soon in your relationship, here's a good comparison. So it's kind of like doing premarital counseling instead of pre-engagement counseling. All right, so follow me now. So pre-engagement counseling is we are going to get counseling before we get engaged, before I propose. Let's talk about the relationship to see if we should do it. And then you got premarital counseling, which, I mean, only a small population of people get counseling pre-engagement or premarital, even marital counseling. People are not doing that. But for the small portion that do, most of them get premarital counseling, or after we got married, we going to get some help because we got all type of stuff going on. So premarital counseling, as in contrast to pre-engagement counseling, premarital counseling is, you already engaged. You're already engaged. You know what I'm saying? The ring has been bought. You know what I'm saying? The dress is purchased. The plans are being laid. The venue has been, we done announced it. We done told the family. People are getting their flights. So what happens? So notice, you see the difference between the two. One, there's the commitment has not been made. So it gives you freedom to get out if you need to, or to be open to deal with real issues if you need to. Me and my wife did that. We did pre-engagement counseling. We wasn't even engaged yet. And I credit us for that. We didn't do everything right, but that's one thing we got right. Before I even proposed, we talked about our relationship, and we didn't have that pressure on us, you know what I'm saying, to have to get married. And honestly, that's kind of how it works when you are too romantic too soon. It kind of puts you in this overcommitment zone and your mind is clouded. It's like you've already gone all in. It's like you've already made too many deposits. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. And so you living together, you got all that type of stuff, man, and y'all ain't even really done no work, no character, you know what I'm saying? You ain't seen them in the worst situations. Like you moving too fast, That's one of the things we did right. All right, now I want to talk about 7 things that I had to learn that most of the time I got wrong. All right, so here we go. All right, so let's get to it. All right, the first thing, number 1. So 7 things that 24 years of marriage taught me. Yesterday, my anniversary. Here we go. Number 1, sex is overrated. I said sex is overrated. Sex is overrated. Did you hear what I was? Sex is overrated. Now, sex is amazing, but it's definitely overrated compared to the way society makes sex out to be. Because look, one of the first things that will leave a marriage when the marriage is in crisis is the sex. You know what I'm saying? Sex can't keep people married. I don't care how good the sex is. That joint ain't gonna keep you married. I don't care how good she is in bed. It ain't gonna keep you married. Sex will not keep nobody married. Come on, talk to me. Money won't keep people married. You know what I'm saying? I just talked to somebody yesterday, said it was cheaper to keep her. But I mean, listen, yeah, money might be stronger than sex, but sex will not keep you married because sex is overrated. We make sex out to be such a big thing. And honestly, I was just thankful, you know what I'm saying, as a Christian guy, that, finally I could be in a relationship where I need to repent. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. And I'm like, yo, man, the sex is going to cover a multitude of issues. We just going to screw ourselves until everything is gone. But the reality is sex is overrated, and that joint will go in a minute. What's more important than sex is intimacy, right? And it's possible that you could be having sex with somebody, bro, and y'all have no intimacy. You don't even really know who you sleep with for real, for real. Woo! Lord have mercy. And so I thought that the sex, as long as I was physically good in bed, that was good enough, you know what I'm saying, to fix my marriage. And then, of course, sex went out of the window because of a number of things. And that's kind of how I got on porn, a bunch of other stuff. Because I overestimated sex and thought, man, if I perform well in bed, that was good enough. And honestly, some of us brothers wonder why the sex is gone. We think maybe our performance is off. No, bro, it's not your physical performance. It's not your physical ability. It's your inability to be emotionally dialed in with your woman. It's the inability to be able to have intimacy, to be open with each other. I'm going to talk more about that later. So I'm just telling you, this is one of the things I learned. Sex is overrated. Just real talk. It's overrated. All right. Intimacy isn't. That's what I learned in marriage. You may disagree. I don't care. Number 2, marriage deserves, there's another thing I had to learn. Marriage deserves more effort than your job or whatever it is you're passionate about. I kind of thought, and I didn't say this, but this was kind of assumed, that marriage would just take care of itself. Right? We love each other. That's how everybody kind of falls on that. Oh, we love each other. So love is going to be good enough. Man, love is not good enough if there is no plan. If there is no dedication, and we use that loosely. I am dedicated to my marriage. Show me, what's the plan for your marriage? What's the vision for your marriage? What's the business plan for your marriage? What's the strategy for your marriage? What's the strategic plan for your marriage? What are you guys doing to develop spiritually? What are you doing to develop health? What are you doing to develop your intimacy? What are you doing to improve your sex life? What are you doing to improve your quality time? What are you doing to improve, your trauma and your emotional brokenness and all that type of stuff? Like, what do you, like, if you, honestly, some of y'all don't realize that it actually takes more dedication, intentionality, strategic planning, effort, education, personal development to sustain your marriage than it does your career. Because let's be honest, your marriage should be more important than your career, your hobbies, your platform, or whatever else you got. I was giving more attention to my career than I was to my marriage. And then we all of a sudden are shocked, man, when our marriages are falling apart because you just assumed that your marriage was going to take care of itself. And marriage doesn't take care of itself. You got to take care of the marriage. You know what I'm saying? Just like you got to take care of the business, you got to take care of the marriage. So when you hear old couples and stuff say marriage takes work, what they're really saying is that marriage is your first, not a job, but it is your calling. You got to sense like I'm called to this. So because I'm called to this, I got to think on a different level. And I can't just take it for granted and think that the marriage is just going to grow and get happy and better because we screwing each other and we, you know what I'm saying? We going on dates and we taking vacations together. If you are not working on every aspect of the marriage will come back and bite your behind. The marriage will gobble you up. Marriage is unforgiving. Marriage can be deadly. Marriage can destroy you if you do not master being focused and intentional and strategic about your marriage. All right, number 3, the third thing that I learned after 24 years of marriage. Vulnerability is the measurement. All right, so this goes back to the intimacy thing. So vulnerability is the goal. And I wrote a note down here. I'm going to put this here. Leadership in marriage isn't about control. It's about connection. And connection only happens when you're willing to be seen, soft, and honest. I'll say it another way. The Bible says when God created marriage, that Adam and Eve were naked and they were unashamed. That's honestly, that's the measurement of how are we doing? How are we doing in our marriage? Well, how vulnerable are we? How safe is this relationship? How free am I in this relationship to expose myself without the fear of being judged, of being hurt, of being wounded? So in a sense, like the measurement of your marriage is how safe is it in this marriage for me to be vulnerable so that in my vulnerability, I can be better as a person. All right. So let me take that a step further. All right. And I'll come back to that in a second, but I want to say this next one. All right. Number 4. Here's another thing that I learned after 24 years of marriage. Parenting is third. A lot of people get this mixed up. Right. So let me say this to men. So some men get this mixed up in the sense that parenting in a marriage becomes like seventh. Like you just completely, you know what I'm saying, outsource that to the woman. And you feel like you're just a provider, you go to work. That's how I was. I was like, my wife will take care of the emotional needs of the children, stuff like that. I'll just show up every now and then. Honestly, I never said that, but that's kind of how I was behaving. So a lot of men throw it way down the list. And a lot of women put parenting at the top of the list. So it's like when you have children, it's like the marriage goes second, third, fourth, and then the children comes first. Both of them is wrong. Both extremes are wrong. Here's the reality. Parenting is third. What's first? You and God. You and God. Like you can't pour from no empty cup, bruh. If you, my sister, if you are not healthy and whole and full of love and full of joy and stop looking for somebody to complete you, then guess what? You're gonna mess up your children and you're gonna mess up your spouse, right? You got to come first. I never knew that, bro. Seriously, you have to come first in your marriage. You and God have to come first. It's God, you and God, then it's your spouse, then it's your children. If you understand what I'm saying. And a lot of people get these things out of order. And the reason why they get them out of order is because of people they watch and they saw, they just expect, and flesh gets in the way and the children are overwhelmed. I'm telling you this, the best thing you can give your children is a good marriage. And that's research based. Some of y'all passing out generational wealth, but you also passing out generational trauma, to be honest. And so the children should not interfere in your marriage, because here's reality. The children are going to leave you one day, and they're going to leave you with what? 2 Negroes looking at each other who don't even know each other, who have sacrificed so much for children that are ungrateful. Come on, talk to me. These children that are selfish, these children that many times are unappreciative for what you have given. And then by the time you're done, you have wrapped your identity in being a parent and forgot about your spouse. Do not put your children ahead of your spouse. And do not put your marriage ahead of you and your relationship with God. All right? Parenting is third. All right, number 5. Let's come back to this vulnerability thing. Marriage is the ultimate mirror. So I'm going to say it this way. Marriage brings the best out of you and the worst out of you at the same time. All right. It's designed to do that. Some of people are shocked when, stuff gets exposed in a marriage, when they see stuff and so forth. By the way, let me say this. I want to encourage you, like, yes, many of you, people come to me all the time, especially I've counseled many couples. I was shocked. I didn't know, but they was this way. Nah, how? Sometimes we have blinders on. Honestly, God will show you he will show you some stuff. People can lie in your face. Spirit of God will give you discernment about people. I haven't had many shocks about my wife. I ain't had nothing. Nothing has shocked me about my wife in all these years. And we both have gone through changes, but the base level of foundation of our character has remained the same. You know what I'm saying? But to this point, marriage is designed to be a mirror. It's designed to bring out the best and the worst out of you simultaneously, because marriage is sanctification, right? That's just a churchy word for marriage is designed to help you to become more like God, to become more loving, to become less selfish. And I cannot think of a relationship on this planet that has challenged me more, that has made me hurt more than marriage. And a lot of people got a fairy tale in their mind, man. Stop looking at people's social media posts. Stop looking at their weddings. Stop looking at all that crap. It's crap. It's a lie. It's fool's gold. The reality is marriage is hard because marriage is designed. God designed it this way to help you to see yourself so that you can become more like him. We don't talk about this a lot. And for many people, it sounds too churchy. But look, God designed marriage. And the whole purpose of marriage was to be sort of a mini demonstration of what we go through in our relationship with God. Right? So it's a godly thing. It's not about being happy. And I'm not saying you should sacrifice your happiness, but I'm saying it's not primarily about being happy. It's about being holy, if you will, or being more like God. And in order to be more like God, you got to be exposed. You got to be shown as selfish. You got to be shown as you need help. And this is why work is so important. And this is why, therapy and reading and going to marriage enrichment and working on your marriage is so important. I'm going to double click this, foot stomp this over and over and over and over again. A marriage will not just take care of itself because you guys love each other. All right. Number 6. And this is an important one that I learned after 24 years of marriage. We had our anniversary yesterday, July 22nd, 2001. And I said, let me go and share with these folks. Here's another one. If you don't communicate, don't expect it. I'll say it again. I'm looking straight in this camera. What's up, Jay? If you don't, he said, I love my wife, but I don't like her right now. That's real. Can I get a witness? How many of y'all can relate to that? Sometimes you love your spouse, but you don't like them. And that's the reality of marriage. And you have days like that, right? And you go through those things because it's a real relationship. It's not a fairy tale. Stop. And so some of y'all are scared of marriage. No, I highly encourage marriage if you want to be a better person. If you don't want to be a better person, don't get married. And that's why I tell people all the time, if I was not a person of faith, and don't worry, I'm going to come back to number 6. I'm getting off subject. But if I was not a person of faith, if I was not a Christian, I've said this to my wife. I said it in her face. I've said this from the pulpit, and she knows what I'm saying. If I were not a Christian, I would not be married. I'm sorry. I'd be out there. If I wasn't saved, I'd be out the streets hoeing. I'd just go out in the streets and just, move from one person to the next. I'm saying something to some of y'all right now. If I wasn't married, I would just be afraid. I would be afraid of the relationship. If I wasn't a Christian, saved, trying to be a kingdom follower, man of God, why would I want to be married? It's a hassle. It's a hassle. It's self-denial. You know what I'm saying? It's constantly having your character ground and powdered to the ground. It's removing all this toxicity out of you. It's exposing you. You know what I'm saying? It breaks you down. Why would I be married if I wasn't serving the Lord? Why would I want the hassle of that? I would be out in the streets just hoeing, doing whatever I wanted. You know what I'm saying? And just avoiding commitment and avoiding all type of personal growth, because that's what marriage is. We get married. Ain't nobody. If you want to be saved, though, if you want to grow, if you want to develop, if you want to be the best version of yourself, I highly encourage marriage. I highly encourage it, because that's exactly what you're gonna get. See, number 6. Let me get back to number 6. If you don't communicate it, do not expect it. I used to think that let's use sex for example. I'm trying to figure out why my wife ain't coming on to me, and I have not communicated that. We haven't communicated at all about sex. Honestly, I just expected sex to happen. I expected her to cook. I'm the one that ended up being the cook because that's my passion. She don't like it. I expected the money to be good. I expected everything. I shouldn't say I expected. I assumed. And you know what they say when you make assumptions? Come on in here, y'all. When you make assumptions and make a what? Yeah. And make a, as I was saying, out of you. Look, I'm telling you, many of us right now, we kind of just assume too much. And I don't know where you're getting that from. Listen, so I'm telling you right now, if you do not communicate it, do not expect it. Well, no, come on, man. I should expect her. She should know. No, they should know if you haven't communicated it. And so this is why people say communication is so important. Just like they say in real estate, it's location, where marriage is communication. And it's not just communication, it's overly communicating. And I'm telling you, even after 24 years of marriage, I still don't. I haven't mastered that. There's still stuff I keep from my wife. I'm gonna be real. There's still stuff I don't say to my wife. There's still stuff I keep in my head that I probably should share. There are still feelings that I have a hard time letting go of and opening up, that allowing myself to open up to her. For whatever reason, especially as men, we have a hard time realizing that communication is not one word answers. Communication is not yes, okay, I don't know. Like, communication is opening up your soul and your mind and your spirit and everything. And here's the thing: if you're expecting A, B, and C, but you haven't communicated, bro, stop. If you're expecting her to be this, that, and the third, and she turn you out in the bedroom, but you haven't communicated, you haven't talked about it, stop. Just because y'all had experience before y'all got married sexually, and you come into the marriage and you think it's just going to happen like it happened with her and happened with another woman and happened to other, stop. You got to communicate. You got to learn each other. You have to talk to each other, and you have to talk about everything. Assume nothing, communicate everything. All right, number 7. All right, here's number 7. All right, number seven. All right, I'm almost done. Number 7. I only been on here for 22 minutes. All right, so listen, I'm going 30. All right, number 7. Marriage requires grace on repeat. Oh, bro, this is probably the greatest lesson I've learned. Marriage requires grace on repeat, and not works. Meaning, you know what I'm saying? Unless she's a good girl, I'm gonna treat her right. Unless he's doing this, I'm gonna treat him right. And listen, I had conversations with my wife about this, on the sexual side, right? And my wife had a conversation with me about this on the sexual side. On her side, I'm like, honey, do I have to be perfect? The house got to be perfect. Our money got to be right for me to get the draws. And she learned, she grew in that. And then simultaneously, just because I wasn't getting the draws doesn't mean I had to walk around and act like I had an attitude and act like I was on my, masculine menstrual cycle. You know how we are. Both of us do this. When we don't get what we want, we have a tendency to treat the person the way we feel that they deserve. And that's why, again, I'm telling you, marriage is for people who trying to follow after God. I'm telling you, because you're going to have to demonstrate grace, and you're going to have to demonstrate it over and over and over again. One of the most powerful moments in my marriage is when my wife, you know what I'm saying, after I confessed to her, after I got busted multiple times with pornography and whatever, how she would repeatedly remind me that I was a man of God, how she would repeatedly treat me better than I deserve to be treated. Bro, y'all, listen, man, and not even just with your spouse. Come on, let's talk about with your kids. You raising your kids make mistakes, and some of your kids making the same mistakes, and the Holy Spirit reminds you, you better watch how you treat my child, because honestly, didn't I just pull you out of some stuff? Didn't I just forgive you for some stuff? Didn't I just show you some grace on some stuff? And so, look, honestly, the foundation of your marriage relationship needs to be grace. Now, some of you are pausing me right now and saying, hold on, how much should I take? And I'll just put it like this. There are obviously boundaries and limits to what we can take from a human level. The Bible tells we should forgive over and over again, that we should love others as Christ has loved us. I ain't talking about abuse. If you're getting whooped, if you're getting beat up, if you're getting emotionally, abused, all that stuff, you got to draw a line and show some boundaries and get safe, right? Go get help. But what I'm really talking about right now is I'm talking about just in our daily interactions. We need grace to be dispersed every single day. A lot of us get amnesia. A lot of us get superiority complexes where we feel like our spouse's stuff is worse than our stuff. And we start treating each other the way we think we deserve to be treated instead of treating each other with grace. And this is one of the biggest things I learned in a marriage. Your marriage is dead on arrival if you haven't learned the power of God's grace. If you don't realize that you are the worst sinner in your marriage, you have to embrace that mindset that I'm the worst sinner. that my stuff is worse than my spouse's. Because if you always elevate your spouse's stuff as worse than yours, then you will always put yourself in a pharisaical superiority mindset, and you'll be looking down at them. And I don't care what it is. Some sins, definitely. Some infractions, you know what I'm saying? Some things we do that are hurtful to each other definitely have greater impact and consequences. But in your mind, remember that you need God's grace. And the same grace that you receive from God is made manifest. How do I know you're appreciative for God's grace in your life? How you treat your spouse. Handle them with care. Handle them with care. Handle them with grace. Be forgiving. Be quick to forgive. Be quick to get over stuff. Stop being petty. And stop throwing your spouse under the bus. Stop talking about them to other people. Stop posting on social media about your marriage. When, you know, some of us, I don't know what's happening here. We treat other people better than we treat our spouses. Grace is needed in your marriage. All right, last but not least, I got a bonus for you. Can I give you a bonus? Oh, snap. I ain't even put it in here. All right, here go the bonus right here. The bonus is this. The bonus is this. All right, the bonus is, where's the bonus? Oh, I know. What's it? It's something about money. It's something about money. Yeah. I know. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. Here go the bonus. All right, the bonus is this. Communicating about money is more important than having money. Communicating about money is more important than having money. And I confess to you, to the level and the degree that you and your spouse, and I didn't know this, talk about money. Listen, we used to have separate accounts, separate. She had her money, I had her money, and then we had joint accounts. We still wasn't talking. And what I found is this: the more we communicated about money, the more we communicate about our goals, our visions, and our dreams, and where the money goes and how it's going to go, it created less stress in the marriage. But here it is. It also created more money in our marriage. The more you talk about money, the more money you will have. And I'm telling you, communicating with your spouse about money in a healthy way, in a positive. For many of you, talking about money just brings all type of stress and brings all type of, arguments and stuff like that. Y'all got to get that figured out, even if it requires you to go get help. But I'm just telling you right now, what's more important than having money in a relationship? Talking about it, having it on your schedule. We have not been good at this. We have a meeting tonight, me and my wife, to talk about money because, look, no finance, no romance. Real talk. You already know that. No finance, no romance. And listen, no finance, no talking about it. You got to talk about it. Anyway, guys, that's what I learned. 24 years of marriage, and there's more. That's just all I got time for. And man, listen, I hope this was a blessing to you. And I want to encourage you. Listen, if you married, don't take yourself too seriously. You know what I'm saying? Get vulnerable and get vulnerable quick. Stop making marriage, sex and stuff overrated. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Work on the marriage. Start making it a line item on your budget to go get help. If you don't communicate it, don't expect it. You know what I'm saying? Marriage is a mirror to help you see yourself. Your marriage must become before your kids. Vulnerability is the goal. That's all I got for y'all. Listen, man, I look forward to see all the brothers at the Men's Breakthrough Challenge that's coming up. 3 days, brother. Let's get our shift together. 3 days to hit the reset button. 3 days to fix what's failing. This will be a great opportunity after all this talk for you to prioritize your marriage. One of the ways that men should prioritize a marriage is to become better husbands. Can I help you to become a better man? If you are a better man, you will be a better husband. Go to the link right now and register, www.mensbreakthroughchallenge.com. Over 200 brothers have already registered. I need you to get your spot before you lose it. And let this be the day where you just don't talk about it, but you are about it. All right, y'all. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Get Your Shift Together Men's Podcast. For more information, please visit our website, menswinningscircle.com. That is, menswinningscircle.com. Let's win in the things that matter.